All right, we're going to use this thing to work here. You'll see that we have kind of a symmetrical data a little bit, but the interesting thing about this graph is that you can see on this side we have men in thousands represented by the bars. So the height of the bars are the men in thousands. And then when you have the boxed line, so where these boxes are, that is the deaths from high cholesterol. Okay? So you have to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on here in order to get the right numbers, because let me tell you what, I screwed that up doing mine. So here we go. Number one, what is the range of the total cholesterol for the middle 68% of the men represented in this data? Well, middle 68, remember, bell-shaped curve, I need a color here, bell-shaped curve, means in the middle, 68 is one on each side. So if I have the mean, I'm looking for these two pieces here. So if my mean is 206, I add 35 going to the right, which would give me 241. I subtract 35 to go to the left, and I get 171. So my range of data is 171 to 241. 68% of men have cholesterol between 171 and 241. So that's approximately here to here, approximately, because we know we got to approximate. So number two, use the graph to estimate the number of men represented by the middle 68. Okay, so again, that's 170. So that's here to here and everybody in between. So you kind of have to estimate the tops of each of these bars in order to get there. And, you know, this is an estimation. So I'll show you the numbers. I used 25, 32, 37, 39, 40, 35, 30, and 25. That's for each of these bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Had enough numbers. So when I add them all together, I get 263 men in thousands, so that is 1,000. So that's my estimate. And you might estimate it a little bit differently, but at least we should be in the same ballpark playing the same game. Okay. Now let's go to number three, where it says how many deaths were there in the middle 68. Well, again, middle 68 is from here to here, and we are looking now at deaths. So we're looking at the boxes for each one of these lines. And to show you those, so now we have to look at these numbers because the deaths are on this side, which I screwed that up too. So we're at 100, I used 125, 180, 240, 275, 250, 225, and 200. So again, you might be slightly different depending on how you estimated, but those are the numbers I used. And I got 1,595. So I approximated 1,595 deaths for the middle 68. So 68% represents that many deaths. Now number 4, it says ratio. We've written ratios of deaths to the total for that middle 68. Well, the number of deaths, if you recall, was number 3. That was 1,595. And the total was number 2, 263,000. So if I can leave it like that if you'd like, or you can change it to a decimal and get 0.006 as a decimal. And that's the ratio. So basically, this is 6,000ths. So 6 out of every 1,000 men in the middle 68 will die from high cholesterol. That's basically what that means. Okay. Moving on. How many men are represented by the top 16%? Now, if you think about the empirical rule, right, split it 50-50, then this one is 34. So from yellow line to the left is 84%. That means all of this is the top 16. So we're looking to the right of one standard deviation away. Well, one standard deviation away is 240, if you recall. So how many men in the top 16? We're looking at this data here. So how many men? We're going to look at the top of the bars. And I'm sure you're wondering, Becky, what numbers did you use? Why? Let me tell you. 25, 19, 16, 10, 7, 5, 4, 3, and 2, which gives me 91. And again, that's in thousands because it says in thousands. So that was my estimation of how many men are in the top 16%. Then I want to know how many deaths. So again, we're at 240, but now I've got to look at these, just the bar or the boxes. And again, we're using this side. So for number 6, I used 200, 180, 170, 135, 100, 80, 50, 40, and 25 for an answer of 980. And I'm sure you're guessing, oh, look, it's a ratio of deaths, 980, to the total, 91,000. And if I simplify that, I get 0.011. So if you have 1,000 of those, 1,000 people, 11 of them are going to die of high cholesterol compared to the 6 that we had in the middle 68. So how does this graph indicate the high cholesterol is dangerous? Well, you can see these are the numbers of high cholesterol here. So as cholesterol gets bigger, you can see the number of deaths. Very few people have a cholesterol of 320, but they have, people are dying from it. So it appears that the higher your cholesterol, the more people die, right? It's over here, you see that the deaths boxes is kind of in the middle of the graph where you get to a higher cholesterol. The average cholesterol is what, 206? So average is here. When you get above average, the number of deaths exceeds, right? That bar or that box line exceeds the bar. And so that's kind of what shows you that high cholesterol is dangerous. And what are some possible confounding factors? What else could be, age could play a role. We don't have any idea what the age is of these people. So, and there could be other factors as well besides just cholesterol. There could be, different things, cancer, heart disease, smoking, falling off a cliff, all kinds of things could be included. But that just kind of helps look through. It's kind of a weird graph, and it's kind of just good to look at it and be able to read something that's just, I guess, just not normal.